JoJolion is very smart. Theory crafting has been one of the more interesting parts of this experience reading it monthly. I was playing a little coy with the X-Forts in one of my previous videos when he mentioned the potential use of string theory in his JoJolion chapter review, which is linked in the description below.
Josuke's ability is related to string theory, and a quick, very brief explanation of string theory and quantum mechanics is that, everything is made up of molecules, and atoms make up molecules, and like the smallest thing we can see is an atom. And the theory is that what makes things different, what makes different molecules unique and different atoms unique from one another, is that they are all simply just a spinning line. And what makes them unique is the vibration of the line is slightly different. So pretty much, it's an everything theory. The string theory is that the theory of everything are spinning lines.
I don't know why you guys think I hate him over a joke. I mean, you can't hate the king, it's X-Forts.
I was gonna win that, I would have had to kill everyone.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, me and Sam imposters.
Oh my god, it's me and X-Forts as the imposters. Let's go! Let's go! This is gonna be so good!
No shot!
Bruh.
Amazing!
God damn
We
it.
did it! So I decided to eat my own words and thought I should make a video about it. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized string theory's implications in the part are more fundamental than what he said. This is the true calling for my degree in nuclear physics. This video is not a typical stand science, it's more of an analysis of the science surrounding the Wonder of You fight from the most recent chapters of JoJolion. This is an extension of the concepts that I went over in the Tusk Act 4 and D4C stand science videos, so I'd like to urge you to go check those out first if you already haven't. Not really a shameless plug, but they provide the basic background knowledge for the topics at hand. Kurt's Gazette also did a really good video on string theory that is linked in the description as well if you want another reference. I'm going to cover the same concepts, but apply them to Araki's writing in part 8, and then also bring up a few things that were glossed over. With that being said, spoilers for JoJolion. In chapter 100, the spin from Steel Ball Run returns. This is revealed by Rai Mamizuku as he shows the true nature of Josuke's soap bubbles, which were teased all the way back in chapter 70. They are lines that spin. This is clearly a reference to the concept of string theory, where particles in our universe are not treated as points, but as lines. But this seemingly doesn't understand the reason behind why string theory is a theory to begin with. String theory comes from the need to connect the four fundamental forces of our universe: gravity, electromagnetic, strong nuclear, and weak nuclear. Through the development of quantum mechanics being applied to subatomic physics, a standard model of fundamental particles of the universe was created. This standard model says that matter is made up of particles called leptons and quarks, and those make up protons, neutrons, and electrons, though the electron is a lepton, but whatever. And those make up atoms, and atoms make up molecules, and molecules make up cells, and the cells are at work, and the cells make up us. Now, what's interesting about life is that half of these forces are observable to us with our own eyes, and the other half aren't. We see gravity because we can see it keeping our feet on the ground. Electricity is what powers our world. Magnets bring things together and push things apart. We interact with these forces daily, but there are also two subatomic forces that are going on in the background: the strong and weak nuclear. These forces hold the particles that make us up together, and depending on which particles are bonded to each other, a different force will be applied. What's peculiar about spin is that it's observable through both a macroscopic and microscopic lens. When wheels turn and planets orbit, there's some type of rotational kinetic energy. On the quantum level, particles have inherent angular momentum. While they're not really spinning, this effect can be measured, and it shows that the spin itself transcends all the fundamental forces. String theory takes that standard model and goes one layer deeper. In the quarks are vibrating packets of string-like energy, and depending on the frequency at which they vibrate, it determines what particle they are. This is very similar to what Rai is explaining to Josuke. String theory seeks to bridge the gap between the unobserved and the observed forces. Quantum mechanics doesn't really work with gravity because compared to all the other forces, gravity is really weak, even weaker than the weak force. But quantum still describes the interactions of particles on a smaller level and is the backbone for how atoms are formed, power is generated, and information is stored. As we discussed in the Tusk stand science, you can think of gravity as placing an object on a sheet of flat space-time. This creates a well of sorts that bends smaller objects toward it. In the first 6 6 parts of JoJo, the consistent theme of the villains is to have mastery over one aspect of time. Dio stops time, Kira rewinds time, Diablo skips time, and Pucci speeds up time. Funny Valentine abandons that trend and opts for mastery over space and dimensions. I believe that was an intentional choice from Araki and will continue to be a trend in the new universe. String theory's mathematics require there are 6 compact dimensions for those vibrating packets of energy on top of the 3-dimensional world that we already live in, plus an extra dimension for time. But that doesn't give us any connection that we're looking for because we only observe life in 3 dimensions. Quantum electrodynamics was the first link between 2 of the fundamental forces, the weak nuclear and the electromagnetic force, stemming from the work of Richard Feynman. Quantum chromodynamics takes that one step further by bringing in the strong nuclear force to a grand unified theory, or GUT. Yet gravity still remains a myth to physicists everywhere, and the more we delve into the mathematics of string theory, some of the threads continue to loosen. But now let's say Araki understands the basic meaning of string theory. How would he apply those concepts to JoJolion? Well, what do we know about Wonder Review's flow of the calamity at this point? Anyone who pursues the head doctor will befall calamity, and something will be drawn towards them. Think for a moment that the head doctor and Wonder Review and Toru all represent gravity, and Gappy is the other fundamental forces in the universe. Gappy starts at a point being separated from his memories, but is inextricably linked to the Higashikata family, the rock humans, and the Rokakaka. Just like how the electromagnetic force was linked to the weak force, then to the strong force. Now, Josuke is in a similar situation, where he has reaffirmed his identity and goals, and the true nature of his ability is revealed. Or his bubbles could be quantum harmonic oscillators. We could do a stand science on that sometime later if you guys are interested. Now, thematically, this makes perfect sense for Wonder Review, whose ability can be perceived as warping the effects of gravity. You could say this ability was even foreshadowed all the way back in chapter 31 with the debut of Yotsuyu Yagiyama's stand, I Am a Rock, and its selective attraction or faux gravity. Josuke, a single unified person from 2 people, fights the head doctor and Toru, 2 beings linked to one another. If we consider the head doctor to be the intangible aspect of gravity, the one we can't observe in space, with gravity wells in space-time, Toru can be seen as the real effect of gravity, being the physical person drawn closer and closer to the Rokakaka. And since the bubbles are strings, lines, chords, what have you, to complete Gappy's character arc would be to complete him as a person and conquer gravity by defeating the head doctor, weaving everything into the perfect setup for a conclusion. Alright, that's enough theory crafting for today. I hope you guys liked it. We'll see if this whole video is disproved in a few weeks when Araki releases the new chapter. Hope you like JoJolion content on this channel, and maybe more science theory videos. I still love stand science, but it would be a nice change of pace. If you want to see more, click that like and subscribe button. Have a beautiful Duwang, and I'll see you all next time.